Hi, Kevin here with Advanced Leather Solutions. I have a cushion casing in front of me. I'm going to demonstrate how to clean off a specific spot on it. And this is somewhat unique, and so let me show you what I'm talking about. Now, this cushion has had a drip of some kind or another land on it. It's an aniline dyed leather, and this is the type of leather that is very vulnerable, and when some chemistry hits it, it generally soaks in and darkens the leather, and this would give you the impression of what we're dealing with here. However, what I know to be true is that with this particular chemistry, while it's soaked in a little bit, the vast majority of it is sitting on the surface of the leather, and the objective is to do a repair that doesn't require us to color the entire piece of leather. The reason why I'm saying that is because of this color variation that we see on this leather. It's all over the place, and I'd have to mix multiple colors in order to be able to deal with any individual spot. Or if I did the entire cushion casing, then this cushion casing wouldn't match the cushion casing to the left or to the right of it. So I'm going to be using a razor blade, a little bit of water, and then of course I've already pre-mixed the color that we'll be using. I have a heat gun handy to help drying, and I also have an artist paintbrush. So here's what I'm going to do. With the razor blade, of course we have to be really careful about this. What I want to do is I want to gently abrade away, and you can see what's happening. I'm abrading away this material that makes up the stain. And I'm being pretty careful about it because I don't want to dig deep into the actual outer layer of the leather, but I do want to remove this material that is sitting on the surface. So it's a gradual process, and I want to pay particularly careful attention to the external edges, because that's where the dominant component of the stain actually is right along the outside edge of that circle. So you can see the process is actually lightening the leather as I'm gently scraping away that residue. Okay, now I've got it to a point where I can go to the next step in the process. And we're going to pick up with the next step of the process on the next sequence of the video. So we've scraped away the residual material that was on the surface of the leather, that residue that was on the surface. And now I'm going to take a little bit of water, and I'm putting it on this microfiber towel, getting the microfiber towel slightly damp to the touch. And then I'm going to dampen this area. Now what that's done, as you can see, is it's darkened the leather in the area where the leather was stained. Then I'm going to use a heat gun. You can let this air dry, of course. I'm going to use a heat gun, and I'm going to rapidly dry it. So what the heat gun's doing is it's drawing the water moisture out of the leather. You can see it's lightening. One of the tricks in using a heat gun is that if it's too hot for your hand, it's going to be too hot for the leather too. So you need to make sure that you don't burn or scorch the leather. Once we have the water evaporated out to a certain degree, we don't necessarily have to have it out completely. What we then do is we then manipulate the leather. And what I mean by manipulating the leather is basically scrunching the leather up in the affected area. And what I'm doing here actually is the leather is warm, and so by doing this process I'm actually moving the dye around inside the leather. And now look at that. So we can see a little bit area of where the scraping was, but we can see that the majority of the stain has dissipated. So there we are. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of color on an artist paintbrush. This color we've pre-mixed, and I'm going to carefully dot in like this. Now leather, when it's a leather color, when it's in wet form, is always lighter than when it's in dry form. So let's take a look at what we've got when we hit it with the heat gun. So a couple of minutes ago, we had a stain that looked like that. And as opposed to trying to color the entire piece, what we did is we basically were very focused on it, scraping that residue off of the leather, making sure that there was nothing residual on there, dampening it a little bit, and then hitting it with an artist paintbrush after it's dried. We manipulated the leather, then hit it with an artist paintbrush to deal with whatever little tiny areas of discoloration that we could see. So this is Kevin with Advanced Leather Solutions. This is a technique that you can use in actually repairing leather that is got damage on it, but not necessarily something that requires the entire cushion casing. If you have any questions, give me a call, 510-786-6059, or visit our website. That is www.advleather.com. Thanks for watching.